I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody, I'm Rachel Goodman, and we are here to discuss Shrill Season 2, Episode 7. We have an intellectual salon and so much more, including the tension between Ryan and Annie. But here with me today, we've got our Shrill enthusiast, Angel Taylor.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so be sure to stay tuned until the end. We're going to have our Shrilled moment as well as our predictions. So, Angel, what were your overall thoughts of Episode 7?
It was funny, and more funny.
Yeah.
It was weird, and it was awkward, and I loved it.
It screamed Portland to me. Just
Did it?
all the people that we were meeting at this party at the salon, that was so Portland. The way they were dressed was so Portland. And
it was
just
kind of hippie vibe, right?
like a hippie. It's like, okay, whenever I go to Portland, I always get the vibe of it's either like a hipster vibe or it's also like grunge / the dude that you find out in the wilderness. Like it's like a combination of those three things.
Yes.
Yeah. So
they are not worried about the Hollywood look like people here in LA. You will get none of that in Portland.
no, and they're like everyone is so down to earth. It's amazing. Not that people aren't down to earth here in LA, but this is coming from this is coming from my Pennsylvania self, who I came out here and like everybody seemed much nicer. So yeah. But talking about, everything we saw at this party, what did you expect was going to happen one, that Gabe invited Annie to this dinner party, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my gosh. So the minute Annie invited Ryan to go with her, I was like, what are you doing? It's like she doesn't even know she's setting herself up. And countless times where she's included Ryan has been a setup for her. So, I mean, she needed a slap on the wrist for that. And she got it.
Ryan is, I think, two things. He's getting progressively worse at understanding her, but also she is progressing in the sense that she's recognizing it more. And that's really what I felt they really excelled with in the writing with this episode. With Annie's character development, she is starting to become not just her own person, because we've already seen her do that.
Right.
She's starting to become very grounded in what and starting to really recognize
she has
herself.
Goals, and she's actually she's going after a career.
Yeah.
And in doing that, you got some people that you gotta, leave behind. And I feel like that's what she's sensing. Like, I can't take him with me where I'm going.
But I think even more than that, too, it's the fact that, yes, all of that is true, but she did not realize it before. And that's the difference, is that she's starting to come into her own. We meet Sheila, who is portrayed by Ileana Douglas. Ileana Douglas is a host with AfterBuzz TV. She is on the film scene. I watch her show all the time. I'm a writer for AfterBuzz as well, and I've written articles about her because she's just that amazing.
Yes.
The guests that she has on the show. And I had seen her in things before, and I had seen her on shows like The View, where she was talking about her own experiences being a female in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
But beyond that, just watching her show and then seeing her on Shrill, her acting was on point.
Yes.
And like you had said in one of our, in our 60-second reaction before we actually did the show, I am
the nonverbal cues.
Right, because even when she isn't speaking, her
presence is so powerful.
Her facial cues said everything.
And she just delivers that boss impact. Like, she has such a presence.
Yeah.
Such a boss delivery and groove to her.
For everybody who is listening on iTunes, who's not watching us on YouTube, we actually have a picture of her up right now with, the title, The Film Scene, which is her popcorn talk after show. So absolutely, if you were into film and you are into seeing different guests come on her show. She has a ton, she has authors, she has people in different aspects of the industry. You should definitely check out that show.
She's well connected. Yeah,
with Sheila though, her character. So we got this sense with Annie that, obviously this was kind of a girl power moment.
They had a moment.
Yeah, they had a moment.
Yeah.
And then Ryan. And then
Like
Ryan.
I said, Annie should have gotten a slap on the wrist because Ryan slapped her on the ass.
Yeah.
In front of Boss Lady. So.
And just the fact that, I mean, one, she meets that guy Nick. And even Nick, I think, to me, it's like screaming out, Annie, you need to be with somebody who's intellectually on your level. And
yes.
And I know, like, I've been saying that since season 2 started, because it's just becoming more obvious that Annie is not on the same level as Ryan. She is an intellect. She's a writer. And when, like, I'm a writer too. And so when you're talking to people, you expect
You're very deep.
You need people to be on your level, or it's just kind of hard to have a conversation with somebody who is not able
Who's
to
only surface level.
Yeah, and Ryan just misses all the beats. If we go back to the roller,
he's not even touching the surface yet, though.
Yeah. Well, even if it has nothing to do with general conversation, if we go back to the roller rink episode where Annie was drunk and really upset and she went to Ryan and Ryan just said, "Oh, it's cool, you're good." And then Amadi had to be the one.
Because he wanted to get back to the game.
Yeah. And similarly with this, his Burger League.
He wanted to get back to the Burger League.
And that, I could not believe the audacity of that guy.
He's a child.
He kept saying, "Oh, well, you know, I don't really, I want to get to Burger League. We're just going to have a quick drink,
I
right?"
did this for you. And he just, oh my God, it was pathetic to watch.
That pissed me off, considering everything she has done for him and all the sacrifices she's made. If he was bringing, so on any other night, if Burger League had been, you know, if they had planned it out and it was actually something, you know, that really meant a lot to Ryan, Annie would have been there in a heartbeat.
It's bullshit because the prize at the end is a free burger.
Yeah.
When you just ate 40 of them.
And
oh my gosh.
they can do Burger League another night. It's not like it's for his career. It's not like he is doing something that he is insanely passionate about.
There's no value in it.
I think he just picked something so that they wouldn't have to stay, because he knew he was going to feel inadequate being among other intellectuals.
And he did, and we found out at the end when they had the little blow up with one another, like, he did not feel like he was supposed to be there. He didn't feel included.
Yeah.
Before we roll into the next topic, I just wanted to say, hey viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and give us thumbs up. Jump into the comments. We love to shout you out right here on air. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, you can also jump into the comments. And we'd love to hear from you and give us 5 stars. Tell your friends. If you're watching a show, you know AfterBuzz TV is covering it because we are the ESPN of TV talk.
Yeah, thank you guys. And Angel and I are on the Outlander panel, so if you don't get a chance to comment on the Shrill videos, you can catch us on that panel together doing Outlander on Sundays. So let's touch a little bit more about Ryan, because one, he did try. He tried to talk to Amadi, and we saw Amadi and Ruth having a moment too. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. But that, you know, Ryan was just very out of place. He tried to sound intelligent, but everything he was saying was wrong. And so it just was very off. But I think what pissed me off the most of everything he did that night was when he made as he said verbatim, the executive decision to call the lift when Annie was still talking to people.
That was not the explosion moment. The explosion moment was when all of her coworkers found out that she got busy right there at work by the lips of her own man, Ryan. Like, that was one of those moments you cannot take back. You do not go and tell anyone that we smashed in a closet, a bathroom, or anywhere at work.
Well, and Ryan didn't even think he had done anything wrong. It was more like he happened to accidentally tell Reggie, who figured out that they had slept together at work. And then it got around from there. But just the fact that Ryan couldn't even...
No, Ryan said that he told.
Well, what happened is that he claims, this is from like what we got from Ryan later, that Reggie had figured it out, and then Ryan didn't deny it. and that's how it got out. And then he ended up admitting it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was one of those things because Annie was caught off guard at the wedding when the parents found out that she slept with Lamar, and now people are finding out at work that she got busy in the bathroom. Was it the bathroom or the closet?
It wasn't a bathroom. It was actually, I think it was a utility room.
A utility room.
Yeah.
At work. So she's also being caught off in mid-conversation there too. Cause he's like, she's like, oh my God, you're so cool. He's like, no, you're the cool one. I mean, you get to smash at work. And she's like, wait a minute, no, I didn't. And so it made her look so bad because she's having to lie to cover up and then actually admitting that, yeah, I did.
And I think that she doesn't even, in this episode, like, not even to them, like, she doesn't admit it to her coworkers at first.
No, she doesn't.
I almost thought that they took it like that it was a bad rumor and not actually true. Especially the way that she walked away like that.
The look that he gave her was, you're bullshitting. Like, I heard it from Ryan. Yeah. Like,
see, I didn't take it like that.
Okay.
I took it like he believed it until he got Annie's reaction of saying, no, that's not true. And then she walked away. I would never do that. I think they believed her. Yeah.
I don't think they believed her. He definitely, because, like, so maybe it's like a certain look, especially when you're, like, in the hood, urban, whatever. There's this look, this, like, type of look that you give somebody when they're bullshitting. And I feel like he gave her that look.
I definitely understand that. I took it more of he felt badly that this was even happening to her.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those moments, but she was bullshitting.
In any case, we get the big moment at the end after all of this happens where Ryan and Annie actually have words with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were going to break up. They did not officially break up, but just the fact that Ryan, he wanted to talk about it more, but he wanted to leave the party and completely disrespected her and disrespected her wishes to stay.
You know what? He should have left at that point. I don't see any sense in him being there. He didn't fit in and he wasn't serving her in any way by being there. He actually sabotaged the whole thing. I mean, when she was trying to talk to Sheila, he's slapping her on the ass when they're having, like, a powerful moment, like career talk.
And she was just saying, you should pitch me your ideas when he came over. And that was one moment that Ileana handled beautifully when Ryan came over and, like, suddenly it was like...
The reaction was like, okay.
It was like she went from... It was a 180-degree turn.
It was.
Just in her face.
Well, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And it was very chauvinistic, like, for him to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was crazy.
So, with the time we have left, let's get to our Shrilled moment. Angel, what was your favorite moment of the episode?
My favorite moment of the episode was definitely the wonderful performance by Mr. Gabe.
Oh, yeah.
The wonderful singing. He can actually sing. So that was kind of cool to hear him. And he has some singing chops and great acting chops, of course. He plays a narcissist very well. So, I wonder how he is in real life.
Yeah. And he's another one. He's actually one of the writers on the show, too. So,
dopeness.
Yeah. But I think that, speaking of Gabe, we've been seeing Gabe and Annie bonding a lot more. And so now I think that has been my favorite, not just this episode, but episode 6 as well. It's kind of like bleeding over now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're getting a lot of this, bonding between the two of them where Gabe is very much respecting Annie. And it just feels like now that Sheila's in the mix, that these loyalties will be questioned. But we'll get to that in a moment with predictions, which, speaking of predictions, it is that time again.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I'm just going to jump into mine first since we were just talking about it.
Yeah.
But with Gabe and Sheila, there's obviously some major tension between the two of them in terms of the business.
It is.
And
yeah.
I think that that's exactly what we're going to see with the finale of 2 and maybe going forward into season 3 with Annie having to choose sides between Sheila and Gabe. And Sheila's big shtick is you need to watch out for yourself. Don't really have your loyalties because Gabe is a narcissist and you need to look out for number one. And so I think that that's where this is headed, and that Annie, is going to be in that uncomfortable position where she has to choose what she needs to do for herself to not only honor the people who she's loyal to, but also better her career.
Yeah, so this episode was alluding to her trying to find a reason to give Gabe the boot scoot, like to get rid of him and replace him with someone that's more competent. Because I don't feel like the interactions between Gabe and Annie are as genuine on his side as they are on hers. Yes, they have bonding moments, but I feel like there is an ulterior motive. He's trying to delegate like certain tasks. Like how he gave Amadi the task of, being the manager so he can get to his passion, which is music, so he'll have more time for that. So I feel like he's delegating towards Annie too, like, hey, will you take care of this? And that's less on my plate. And I feel like that's why Sheila was having that heart-to-heart moment, because it's like, no, he's really not that into you, but I can see your value. And you need to watch out for yourself. And basically, which we're going to get to in the next episode. But I really feel like Sheila had that moment so she can kind of pick Annie's brain to see how to get Gabe out of the door.
So what do you see for the future with...
I see Gabe getting out of the door. Like Sheila's finding a way to remove him and replace him with someone that's really more fit for the job and for the people.
Absolutely. Great. Well, that about wraps up our episode for today. Angel, where can everybody find you?
Hey guys, you can find me on all social media platforms under Angel Taylor _ Angel has an E at the end of Angel.
And I'm Rachel Goodman. You can find me on Twitter at Rach Goodman or on my Instagram account at Rachel Radner Author. We're also on the Outlander panel on Sundays, and you can catch me on Stumptown, Narcos Mexico Season 2, as well as Doctor Who on Sundays. Until next episode, we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.